I never thought the symbol I slipped onto her finger on our wedding day would end up lying cold and silent between us. The final punctuation of a love I thought would last forever. But sometimes, endings come quietly. Not with shouting or violence, but with the soft sound of a ring hitting the floor. It started with whispers of suspicion. Claire had grown distant, her laughter reserved for her phone, her excuses piling higher each week. Work dinner. Just catching up with the girls. Don't wait up. The phrases repeated until they lost meaning. My gut twisted, but my heart refused to believe. I told myself she was stressed, tired, overworked. I clung to the hope that love could explain away the cracks. But hope only carries you so far. That night, something in me snapped. She told me she'd be out late again, another networking dinner. I nodded, but this time, I followed. The city streets were quiet as I parked a few blocks away from the restaurant she claimed she was going to. She wasn't there. Instead, I saw her car parked outside a small hotel, tucked discreetly away. My heart pounded as I walked closer, each step heavier than the last. I told myself I was wrong, that maybe she was meeting someone for work in the lobby, that maybe, just maybe, I was paranoid. But then I saw her through the window of the lounge. She wasn't working. She wasn't with the girls. She was in his arms. He was a stranger to me, but the way she leaned into him told me everything. His hand traced her jaw like he'd done it 100 times before, and she smiled in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. And then she kissed him, slow, deliberate, certain. I froze. My chest caved. The world spun, but I stood there, rooted to the sidewalk, staring at the undeniable truth of my unraveling marriage. For a moment, I wanted to storm in, to drag her away, to demand answers. But as I watched, something inside me shifted. The anger I expected didn't come. Instead, there was clarity. She had already left me long before that kiss. All I was seeing now was the proof. I slipped my hand into my pocket, fingers brushing the band of gold on my finger. The ring I had worn every day for 8 years. The ring I had believed bound us, protected us. The ring that suddenly felt like a lie. When she finally came home that night, her hair tousled, perfume clinging to her clothes, she smiled faintly and said, "You're still up," as if nothing had happened. As if I hadn't seen her betrayal with my own eyes. I didn't answer. I just looked at her, really looked, and saw the stranger she had become. She frowned. "What's wrong?" I didn't trust myself to speak. Instead, I reached for her hand. She looked confused, maybe even hopeful, as if I was about to pull her close and forgive whatever she thought I didn't know. But I didn't hold her hand. I placed my ring in her palm. The metal was cold against her skin, heavier than any words I could have spoken. Her eyes widened. "What are you doing?" I swallowed hard, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. "That's my final goodbye, Claire." Her lips parted, trembling. "Wait, no, it's not what you think, But I cut her off with silence. Sometimes silence is louder than rage. I turned, walked down the hallway, and closed the bedroom door behind me. For the first time in a long time, I slept, not peacefully but decisively. The next morning, she tried to explain, to deny, to cry. But the ring in her hand said everything. The weight of it was heavier than excuses. Heavier than her tears. Heavier than the years we had shared. And as I walked out the door, suitcase in hand, I realized the truth. Love doesn't die the moment betrayal happens. Love dies the moment you stop fighting for it. She had stopped long ago. And now so had I. I found my wife in another man's arms, and with the simple drop of a ring, I gave her my final goodbye.